go
two,
first.
one. Good morning. How you doing? Happy July 4th, everybody. Welcome to apartment 814. Sit down, relax, take off your shoes, grab a drink of water. There's some beer in the fridge if you're of age, because this is 2021 and people keep fucking up on the internet. How's everybody doing today?
Well, first of all,
I feel like drinking as a minor.
I was like, wait, we
Yeah,
That's how I feel now.
there's been a lot of cancellations due to even harsher things, which I'm not going to talk about. That's why I use the beer
Why do
thing.
I lead off with cancellations? This week in cancellations.
all right.
There's too many, but though it's not part of the whole thing, there is a certain somebody who was released out of jail, but we'll talk about that some
Man,
other
look,
time.
happy 4th of July, everybody.
Yeah.
I hope that you
Yeah.
guys are ready for those barbecues and those fireworks because it's going to be a hot one. There may be a little bit of rain, at least here on the East Coast. Not sure about the West Coast
West
or
Coast.
anywhere else in the
West
world.
Coast needs some rain. They keep catching on fire.
Man, why are everything got to be natural disasters?
They need a lot more. than
Actually,
rain.
I think it is natural because it's
It is.
it's
too
really
much
dry over there. So
Yeah,
Like, I could
dry,
mention how,
really
like,
dry.
Canada, Portland, bro,
happy
they had
US.
they had a whole heat dome. They had temperatures reached up to 116 degrees, my guy.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty hot. I mean, it's the
That-
summer.
Pretty hot. No, that's not normal.
I know, right? He's like, oh yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's the summer. Like,
It said
no.
like it was. It said that like it was 82.
The
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that
it's pretty
happened to
hot.
Portland was a once in 1,000-year occurrence. But it happens more frequently because of climate change. I could lead off with bad news, bro. Like, people didn't just die, infrastructure started to fail. It was too hot. Like, literally too hot. I mean, we're talking north of us. 116 degrees, does that sound normal to you?
Not normal.
you-
Okay.
No, it's not normal.
It's
No,
hot.
no,
It's a
you can-
summer. We know the
Like-
Earth is getting like fucked up because of climate change. We understand.
All right. So, speaking of 4th of July, I have a tip for all those who plan on using open bonfires.
Is this,
Do you now?
Is this your subject?
No, but it is a cool tip.
That's
actually.
the intro.
Yeah, it's just me
Hundreds.
diverting energy away from all this.
I'm still on at 116 degrees. Like you don't need no charcoal for that. Just put this shit on the grill.
If I'm being honest with you,
Let
that
it
was
cook.
like the first record-breaking temperature they had, which matched like Vegas.
Right.
But like it went up like I think the max was like 100 and either 17 or 119 degrees. And there's a scientific explanation behind it. The heat dome that formed was like usually the heat rises up and then it like the energy disperses as like thunderstorms and stuff. Like I forget the science. I really can't explain it all at once, but effectively what was going on with that heat dome was that it pushes the heat back down. Like it doesn't let it escape. It doesn't let it do its thing, so it just pushes back down, and then the heat circulates and it gets hotter and hotter and hotter.
Oh, okay.
Basically creates its own oven.
Yeah, like 117 degree weather. Can you imagine?
No,
Like,
I don't want to.
I haven't ever been in that before. Like 104 is like too much.
Like if
Yes.
it's 100-degree weather, I could stand that.
No,
Not anything above that, please.
Bro, craziness. But anyway, I do have a pretty fun story though. That isn't necessarily good news, but it's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, but I want to talk about this campfire thing real quick. So when I was camping a few weeks back, I had this like flash of an idea to just buy crescent rolls when we were roasting hot dogs over fire.
oh,
So I'm like, it should work theoretically. And I wrapped the hot dogs in crescent rolls. I showed you guys a picture.
Yes.
You take a really thin and you wrap it around and then you roast it and it bakes right on the hot dog. You bake like open fire pigs on a blanket. It's amazing. So when you guys are whipping out those campfires and you're getting those hot dogs ready for the kids, be sure to have some crescent rolls handy. But mix it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. Get creative. I think that Hershey also caught on to the fact that you don't just need Hershey's bars to make s'mores. you can use Reese's cups in different flavored graham crackers. I know, shocking,
I
but
think I think they already knew, but they were just afraid of people experimenting.
um,
They didn't want you to do it.
so they don't want you to buy all their different products to like make s'mores. Got it. Just the Hershey bars.
Yeah, like
Oh,
that's how company be. Don't blame
I
them.
don't know.
They,
It
they,
wasn't until I started putting word out that you could do that they even started mentioning it in stores. I'm just saying.
so you alone
I'm about
changed
to
the
say
market.
I'm about to say like now, like they have entire corrugation stands of Hershey's bars,
And
s'mores, and honey graham crackers, just ready to go.
but like they used to
Coincidence?
just be the one bar, and
Right.
now it's like, oh, you can use the chocolate red, white, and blue bars or the. I'm like, bro, where have you guys been? Like, this is your product. How are you just now marketing this?
Man. Man. All right. Well, let's push forward here today. I think
Wait,
so.
panic.
What?
We hadn't activated Panic EXE yet.
I'm turning him on. He didn't know. He didn't tell us how his morning was going.
Oh, nothing special.
Nothing special. Okay, well let me just
Somehow,
make some
I
tweets.
knew he would say something like that.
Nothing special. Now, last time he had a whole morning briefing.
Did I? I don't remember that.
Because you were turned off
Gotcha.
and turned back on. We're fixing that.
So are we about those freeform subjects today? Freeform.
Sure.
Well then I better lead because I have an actual
You-
topic.
You left. Yeah, I
Mhm.
would say yours is probably going to be the most interesting.
Yeah,
Go
it's
for
a
it.
slow news week. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so this article is I managed to make it relatable to our gaming-esque talks, but the title of this article is "Robbing the Xbox Vault Inside a $10 million Gift Card Cheat" is what they say, but really exploit is the real word here. See, this man managed to siphon over $10 million worth of gift cards from Xbox within the company, inside job, by taking codes that were generated that were supposed to be fake codes for like testing to see if there's anything wrong with the gift card transaction process. But then, oh my gosh, hold on. You can only read some of this stuff word for word, so I have to quote the article in this one. Um, I love the way this was put. He said, the article says, then this dude found a bug that would change his life, a flaw so stupidly obvious that he couldn't bring himself to report it to his managers. He noticed whenever he tested purchases of gift cards, the Microsoft Store dispensed real 5x5 codes. It dawned on him that he could generate virtually unlimited codes, all for free.
Hmm.
He sold them.
Yeah. Oh, boy, did he sell them. He traded them very often for cryptocurrency.
Oh,
Bitcoin.
And sold the crypto for cash.
Yes.
So
this is a very interesting pilot to Ocean's 14.
His name was is Volodymyr Fashuk. I'm trying my best.
He's Russian.
No, I think he's Ukrainian, actually.
Ukrainian?
Yes,
okay.
I'm pretty sure he's Ukrainian. I was trying to remember if it was Ukraine or Kazakhstan. That's what I was trying to say. But basically, here's the question. I'll go through more of the article. You guys definitely just have to read it. It's one of those good reads where you just kind of look at it and you're just like, how did this all play out? Seriously, like, how did he get found out? Because he got caught. He's been sentenced to 8 years.
That's it.
And a restitution of
My man said that's it.
8.3 million.
That's a lot.
Well, it
Or
took
maybe-
them 3 years to figure this out.
Oh,
So this dude was flipping so many codes. Listen, I can only read it. I quote: "He was flipping so many 5x5 codes that prosecutors said he was singularly responsible for global fluctuations in the price of Xbox gift cards on reseller markets.
Hmm.
When prices dropped too low, he'd withhold his supply and hope the drought will push the market upward." I was like, "Oh my
Hmm.
gosh."
yo, for real, this is some ocean shit, yo. There's like no lie. Hey, it's straight
I
up.
mean, he was pretty amateurish, however. They don't reveal
Yeah.
that he made a lot of amateur mistakes, but like the point is they didn't figure it out it was him until he had bought a like $1.3 million chalet, pie backwards, pie forwards all night and all day. I mean, like the dude had already gone out of his way to buy all this stuff, you know? And of course he lied to his accountant, Wells
Of
Fargo.
course.
The cryptocurrency was a gift from my dad. I'm just like, oh, classic fraud excuse. Was a gift from somebody outside of the country. I have a background in fraud. This is why I think it's fun, because I'm just like, how did this dude get away with that, right? My thing is, it's really about someone in his shoes doing that. Like, it wasn't just him. There was a couple people who were involved, of course, once they figured it out, and many of the people who were buying from him didn't necessarily know what was going on. They didn't really start to think to contact Microsoft until the code started going stale, because Microsoft eventually figures out that a lot of their gift cards are being stolen. But it's not so much the plastic itself, it's the code on the plastic, right? Um, the whole of it is that they took a while to figure out who it was, and it took many investigation teams. The funniest one, oh gosh, again, I have to quote it because Microsoft has a company, Fraud Investigation Strike Team, literally abbreviates to FIST.
Well,
I'm s-
okay.
yeah. It's not funny because this is serious stuff. Like the whole argument that he tried to make in court was that it wasn't fraud because it wasn't real money. Okay. That was the basis of one of his arguments. Like that this wasn't real money. But one of the prosecutors was just like, bro, you didn't buy your house, your like $1 million home with monopoly money. Like someone was footing the bill.
Crypto.
You know what
That's
I mean?
funny,
Like
yo. He was
that's
kind of smooth with it. Like I ain't gonna front. Like that's what I expect. Like the like average, not the average, but like slightly above average person to do to attempt.
yeah, well, he was an engineer.
All right.
But at the end of the day, like they still figured out it was him. So my question here today is that these seemingly meaningless Microsoft codes, which you can just use for Xbox, like they're labeled under Xbox, but you could also use them to buy like graphics cards, certain computers, movies, of course, games. And it's wild because like when they finally investigated his home, like the IRS was in on it. Like a bunch of people had done investigations, and when they finally searched his home, they found like USB drives crammed, and I mean crammed with these codes, including a note that was translated because it was, in Ukrainian. How I'm gonna spend my next $10 million. I had like a wish list. I was like,
Damn.
yo, like you have to read the article. I'm gonna try and put it into our chat.
Yes, please.
When does Fist make their Marvel Cinematic Universe appearance? Oh my gosh.
Like, hey, listen, man.
Also, sorry to hear that last story. I hadn't been paying attention to chat till just now, but
Oh, what happened?
hi guys. Because I'm looking at this article,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. It's like they said in the article, and again, this is worth quoting. It's like it was the equivalent of like finding the bank robber's house stuffed with cash. Which was actually the case. He did have a lot of cash in his house too. You know, he was spoiling his girlfriend. It was wild stuff. But like, I'm like astonished that a crime like that can exist in the modern world. You know, like that big of an exploit left Microsoft open to $10 million.
I don't know if $10 million is like the biggest thing to Microsoft. I mean, it's
I
big,
mean, it's
but
big enough.
yeah, it's big. But and I would say that it'll take time to recover from that,
Yeah,
especially
it.
like
Yeah,
especially since, but they're Microsoft, right? They're a $1 billion company,
true.
so they lose $10 million, they'll properly adjust for it. But I don't
Mhm.
know how large or small it's going to be, or how much, like, because this also will affect people in the company. But I'm not going to get into that. I would say what he did throughout this entire thing was clever, smart, especially. And I won't say that it was a good thing. And obviously, he slipped up. But like,
Well, my question is, if you're in his shoes and you were the engineer working for Microsoft, would you have done the same thing knowing you could just basically print money?
no.
I can tell you, nowhere near for that long.
Like if you do it like me, I wouldn't be able to do it like as my character. I wouldn't do it because I'm working for Microsoft. I have a job and I'm an engineer,
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
a
not.
hundred and sixteen
Yeah,
thousand dollar a year position, by the way.
I mean, I
Well,
understand
wait, how,
money is a lot of things. You can millions of dollars will probably set you for life, but like me, I don't think I could see myself like spending over 1 million. Maybe no. I could, but like I don't think I could think of myself spending over like $10 million in my
Oh,
lifetime. That's only because I'm very
you,
frugal.
you couldn't even if you wanted to. You had to do some crazy shit.
Well, I could just be like I put all my money in investments or something like that. It'd be an
Yeah,
easy way
I
to
don't
do
think
that,
you understand the weight of 10 mil
right?
as, as a regular person.
But like if someone normally got like $1 million, you can use that for the rest of your life. As like
And
small
your
as
kid.
that, as small as what people say that is, like, oh, $1 million, that's nothing. I say, well, that's because people just spend and they're not
Okay, well, are we talking about 1 mil or 10 mil?
just 1 mil.
Oh,
Like
okay,
if we're
because
talking
you said 10. I was like, wait, hold on now. To see now, that's a little different.
like 10, like
you
10
said 10 or one.
for,
Right.
so like, and I said I don't think I can spend 10 million. I don't,
You
as
said
like
1 million somebody could use for the rest of their life.
I think 1 million you can use for the rest of your life.
We'll talk about
Only if
that.
only if you invest it properly.
Right.
But
We'll
Right.
talk about that. I
Like
think that's a whole other topic together.
right,
You
but
know,
like I'm only saying this because the guy had he basically printed $10 million and
billion or million.
million,
all right,
right? You said 10 million,
really,
right?
it's,
Yeah. We're just trying to make sure you're saying the right thing, so we're
I
not
know,
confused.
Bro,
I
I'm
know. I'm
saying the right
trolling.
things. I don't know if you guys are
Not,
just
you
hearing
said
me.
10 billion.
Sir, listen.
Yes,
You went from
guys, just
10
stop.
million.
Hold on, stop. I'm going. Just stop. Jesus Christ.
We're not
God.
trying to attack you this time. We're just hearing
No,
different things.
you like said like 3 different numbers, bro.
I said 10 million. I don't think
Right.
I'd be able to spend due to the
Okay.
example, and I
Okay.
think I wouldn't even be able to spend 1 million my
Right. We got
lifetime.
that. But when you
Okay.
said it again, you said 10 billion. You said this guy printed 10 billion.
I
I'm just
said
like,
10 million. That's where you were hearing it
No,
wrong.
no. I heard it too. Like you probably meant million, but like you said billion by accident, probably.
Let's be honest, million and billion sound kind of the same.
yeah, they do.
So I'm just going to
We're
say
just
that
gonna
was your
leave it in
fault.
the water under the bridge.
I'm just going to say that was your fault, and you heard wrong. So how
Water
dare
under
your
the
ears
bridge,
hear things wrong?
All right, what were you getting at? We just need to know what you mean.
I don't think I'd do it. Like if I
Okay.
was in if I was in the same position, I don't think I would do it because, like, again, working for fucking Microsoft, you're already getting paid. So like,
I get it.
I mean,
All right. Well, if
It's
he lives in California, half his paycheck is just going towards living. So not even half.
then
just-
move.
But how can I work for Microsoft if I don't work for Microsoft?
You can work for Obviously, you can work for Microsoft anywhere.
Not if I'm. I have to be in the building. What if I'm
You
a
don't.
local tech? Tech
don't-
lead.
Okay.
Just move, bro.
Just move,
Just
bro.
don't die.
Just move.
Just win. Just don't get hit.
Like you don't have to live in California to work for Microsoft.
He worked on location, bro. He worked on site.
So
Like,
okay, so if the
Actually,
dude,
that's a good argument. that
so
I wanna
if he
have.
works on site, right, and he has no choice but to be there, and he's spending most of his money just living.
Look, he moved from. Look, let me tell you something. He moved from Ukraine, all right, post-Soviet, environment to like modern U.S. is like culture shock. They mention it in there, and it's important to remember. He was looking to live the American dream. California is exactly where he wanted to be.
Okay.
It wasn't about him having an issue with bills. He
Right.
honestly never had that issue. It wasn't like anything about, well, I was poor and I saw an opportunity to get rich.
Yeah, he
No,
he lived an adjusted life, right? He had money.
He was all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. That was not the issue. It was more like he saw the opportunity and he took it.
Yeah. So
You know,
yeah. So
he took the wrong path. He thought he wasn't going to get caught or he would just bail. It mentions that he said, if I get caught, they'll just bail. You know, like, which is pretty much
No, he
everyone's
shouldn't have.
logic.
He shouldn't have did it for that long, in my opinion. So I know,
He-
like morally speaking, he shouldn't have did it at all.
he
But
had a
it's like,
good job. Such a good job.
We'll talk about that. We'll bring it all. This is a very interesting like perspective because it gets into money, and I
Right.
think
Yeah,
that
we're-
like everyone's perception of money is different.
Yeah.
Correct.
So unfortunately, we're gonna stick on schedule. So let's move on to the next subject.
Where is
for now.
Panic at though? I thought he would have just piped up because it was Microsoft, but
I think he's more on the gaming side of Microsoft, but I don't know.
Well, the reason I wanted
I
his
mean-
perspective is the idea that it was the gift card market. Like, mind you, when I was in fraud, or just in fraud or in banking, period, really, you'll see a lot of transactions coming from Amazon or Xbox because those are gift card transactions. But like people will steal people's bank information to purchase that stuff, dude.
Well, okay.
Like
Panic,
it
do you
became a
have-
huge
Panic, do you have anything to say about it?
No, not really.
oh, fair enough.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So let's move on to the next subject.
I don't know. I thought he had more for that one. I wasn't sure how he felt about it because I don't know how the Xbox market went, if he was into it or not.
He's mad at the fact that they keep fucking up Halo. Not because some dude ripped them off for $10 million, I think.
Negative 10 mil.
He's more on that. I got my negative Master Chief in one of my fucking games. It just didn't feel right because half of it wasn't. He wasn't even there. It was about another team. In fact, you know what? I'll admit that the story wasn't that bad.
What?
Honestly,
For what?
I wouldn't know.
But for the
Wait.
last Halo,
Oh, I mean, it's fine.
I just kind of wish they didn't like mess with Cortana like that. Like,
What? No, it makes for an interesting plot.
I just like
Plot
Cortana.
twist.
I just
Of
like
course.
Cortana.
Of course, that's what made it so impactful.
But we're gonna move on to the next subject. Anybody want to share?
So how would you guys feel about advertisements in your video games, purchased
Bro.
video games?
Let me tell you something. I've already experienced that, and I hate it. Okay,
Did you
you know why I hate it?
did you play FIFA?
No, I'm talking about Final Fantasy 15.
Oh no.
But
Okay,
he
no,
means
not
like
that.
sports games advertisements. That actually is a
no.
thing too.
Do you
No,
mean like
like,
commercials or something?
Basically, yes. I like posted an article. It starts off with EA saying how they don't plan on doing that, but there's
Yeah, right.
the word the word through the grapevine is
They do.
someone somewhere plans on putting there are plans to put active advertisements, and by active I mean like like when you go to download a free to play game, and if you want this free item, you have to watch a 30-second ad about Raid Shadow Legends.
The annoying shit in free to play games.
Yeah, imagine that, Imagine that, but like in like Resident Evil 8, and then after you watch it, you'll get some more ammo or something.
Oh no, 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 no.
Huh.
No, if it affects gameplay, I'd be definitely
That's
against it.
okay. So that's something I also would probably be against. I was thinking you were talking about like how Madden. I think Madden actually had like commercials in their games where you're playing a game, and in between the game, like this ad would pop up on fucking fried chicken, and you're like, wait, what does this have to do with football? And it's like a 30-second ad for fried chicken, and then it goes back to your game, and you're like,
Has
the hell was
everything to
that?
do with football. Who doesn't
I
want
don't
to
know.
enjoy fried chicken during the game?
I don't know if you want to.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. It just
I don't know what other people think, but like,
just
it's just an ad, man. Just you're playing a video game, and the ad
no,
pops up while you're playing the video game.
no,
If
you,
it's
you don't understand. You don't understand. Like if you got, well, it's in the chat. Like if you guys like read that last like two sentences, you'll see what I mean. Like it's like crazy.
wait,
Um,
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me figure it out. What I was about to say was like I could see if it was during loading screens when you're just sitting there waiting anyway, but I still
no,
hate it. But
no,
you said the last two sentences.
or like the like last paragraph. Really. Let's see. Company wants to implement these ads in roughly a dozen games by the end of 2021. It's a grim vision of gaming's future.
Oh my god.
Vol- Volunteer to be marketed to during your scant leisure time for virtual rewards. Like watch a 15-second ad about Cheetos sounding like a Marvel themed cape in Fortnite type
Oh, no.
shit.
They want you to watch an ad or to get some sort of.
Because they get, you know how like the advertisement song and dance goes. That's that's money, and it's like, okay, so how can we turn more of a profit without just straight up uh, going into our consumers' wallets and taking the money from them? Okay, how about commercials that they get rewards for, like a free to play game, right? Panic.
Yeah. Now, my input on this is normally I'd be okay with it, but in this sense, because I think companies will wind up taking it way too far. Like
Yes.
we agree, because you said voluntarily. That's the
Hmm.
good part of that. You don't have to watch this stuff. This is only if you want extra things, and it's
Yeah.
technically not pay to win because I'm assuming it's not pay to win because you mentioned cosmetic stuff and not.
Like it's definitely like cosmetics for multiplayer games, and like
Yeah.
I guess for single player games, it's like I said, like you might get like 2 Magnum rounds in Resident Evil.
Right. So it's not pay to win, but then what happens when we accept this, so to
Yes,
speak,
what's
and
gonna happen?
it evolves into something worse, and I'm
Oh
not okay.
yes, it evolves into like hyper rewards. Like, oh, like after watching an hour of commercials, you unlock a new gun.
And actually, I think there's a movie. I forgot what it was called, but
Gamer.
no. Basically, this guy and this woman take like a hibernation pod, and they end up in the future where everyone is just dumb and stupid, and literally everything they do, and like whether it's like shopping in this gigantic IKEA, or playing or watching TV or playing video games, there's like ads and shit in it,
Oh,
and like people are wearing ads all over themselves, and it was just bad and messed up. But I don't think it will go that far. But if like my
it might.
games in the future has like now it's normal to see like an ad pop up, or you have a choice of ads, and it does evolve into something worse, then no, I would never, I wouldn't want to accept that. That goes too far.
Like this shit's crazy.
Like I remember when video games were just fucking toys,
Video games. Yeah.
because video games were basically toys, and
Okay.
now they're a
Now,
big old thing.
now they are a live service.
They're a service now.
Live services.
So I just want to point out that there's some irony in what just happened. My computer crashed after opening that article, sir. First of all. Second of all, I'm pretty sure it's because pop-ups literally overpowered my anti-pop-up. All right. This guy complaining about ads on his freaking website where there's nothing but ads flying all over the place. Just a little peed off, just a tad. Okay. Because the first thing I tried to do was read the 2 sentences, and then pop-up blocker literally crashed. Everything crashed. So you want to know how I feel about advertisements? If they crash my freaking game, bro, I'm going to literally start a whole company.
Yo, but
focused
like,
solely on just, bro, I don't even.
He's
Like,
probably
don't get me
like,
started.
How are you going to demolish it?
but like the crazy part is that it is that people, man, and this is why like, but when I drink my coffee in the morning, I just think like, sometimes people need to get saved from themselves. Sometimes certain people take it to the extremes. Like sometimes I'll be on my Thanos, and you know what? I understand why. Because according to the report, players during that pilot were much more likely to play a game and spend money in it if they could acquire perks by watching ads. It's feasible, though not spelled out in the report, that players could acquire in-game currency by surrendering to 15 or 30-second ads rather than using real cash, thus turning a free-to-play game into a viable video marketing platform. And obviously, this idea stemmed from free-to-play games.
This,
Why?
there,
Why?
there's,
Why wouldn't it?
I think there's something you want to like Thanos.
Because
You just want to Thanos all the bad, huh?
because, and back to our true podcast name, Catering to Casuals. This is why. This is the reason why I be on my Thanos. I'd be like, all right, listen, snap, erase all that shit, save this, kill all the creativity. It's like
Advertising
other people.
is getting
I know. It's just like
so insidious, bro.
it's like a couple 100,000 people will just like ruin it for the rest of us. I'm just like,
It's the take advantage of the human factor. Like, ooh,
like
that looks nice.
these casuals, bro. Like these freaking hyper casuals.
No, it's not. It's not the casuals. It's the.
It's not. It's not just them. Yeah,
It's the consumerism.
no.
Hyper consumerism is what we're at. Was what we're talking about right now. You know,
I don't know anybody that would willingly like.
Because I don't think, like, I don't know if we really associate ourselves with people who are like prone to just follow certain
The trend.
things like that. I don't know. I know I don't personally know anybody who would just be like, bro, you need to do this. And I'm like, why? It's like, fuck, man, I get like 30 resources per ad. You have any idea how hard it is to get 10 resources? And I'm like, do you think the game is, I don't know,
Hey, listen, man.
feeding off of you from that or something?
Listen, me and Panning had this discussion all the time. It's like, giving you a solution to a problem that I am purposefully causing.
Right. That's exactly it. They put in the problem, and they want you to pay for the solution, the problem they've caused.
And the
It's an
problem is
easy
you could just stop being assholes, and that will also work as well.
But it doesn't make them more money.
No,
GG
it's
easy.
and just like Jim Sterling always says, they just don't want money. They want all.
Right.
It needs to be all of the money.
All the money, not just some of the money, not just, money to survive or money to make the company grow. They need all.
Bro,
money.
stop! Like all these non-mom and pop companies are out here eating. Okay, they've been eating for years. They never not. They're not surviving. They're way beyond that.
You know, it makes me think about Capcom a little bit. Remember, on disc DLC
Oh yeah,
That sounds
content that was on the game disc itself that you
Yeah.
had to unlock through additional purchases,
yeah.
yep. That,
even after you bought the game. It's just like, so you're telling me that I have to pay money for something that's on the disc that I already purchased and have the legal right of ownership for?
Mm, some people would like to say that we're just purchasing a contract, and that contract may have some sort of stipulation on how much content we have in the disc until we purchase another additional contract.
As it stood at the time, I think it was pretty clear that that wasn't a negotiable like interpretation. Like if you own the disc, you own the game. Like if you have a digital copy of something, it's a little worse. You don't really own anything,
Yeah.
actually.
I'm not
But
I'm not arguing against that point. I'm saying that there are people out there that are, in the gaming industry who will go with the contract terms. And
mhm,
when they pull that up, I mean, they're technically not wrong, because we do have to go through a EULA, and we do have to go through like purchasing terms in terms of a contract when
mhm.
we do get a video game. And we are they say that this is what they like to say, and I don't agree with it, but you are basically purchasing a right to play their product or something like that, not to own it. And that the argument is like, but
Uh,
I have a physical copy of the
and
disc and everything in it.
and they wonder why people steal shit.
Like this is like the reason why they try I mean, piracy is a thing, and I feel for them when it comes to piracy. But like I
I
mean,
wonder.
I mean, they pull up the piracy thing, and that's actually a real problem. But
Yeah, but I wonder how much of the role they played in piracy.
I
I'm just
mean,
saying.
I forgot where it started, but piracy was such a big thing that they actually had to do something to stop piracy from going rampant.
Still
Yeah,
is though.
DRM.
There is a DRM, sure, but there was something more. They did something that made sure that piracy wasn't like such a prominent thing, and it's still a thing, right? But uh, they try to do so many ways. All depends on what the EULA. It's a license to play, not a claim of ownership. Yeah,
Yeah. See, he explained it in a way. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Very layman's terms. Well,
I did put in the EULA, but I guess it's a license to play.
I
And
mean,
I mean, I thought I said those words too. Wait, did I
you
say
said EULA, but what if someone on our podcast doesn't know what you're talking about?
I said it depends on the EULA contract. Basically, getting a contract to play the game.
Yeah,
I
but the way you said it was jumbled, so I couldn't follow your logic. Plus, I don't know what a EULA is. Like, what does that stand for?
Yeah, I thought I said it. I thought I said it in a clean way, but
EULA? Like, did anybody define that for me?
so
I
yeah, there
I,
you
I
go. The
know
end
I,
user
End user
license
license agreement.
agreement. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
only thing that I was missing. I do know what that is. I see it all the time. Okay. But when you guys said EULA, I'm like, what? That's the only thing I didn't get.
So my assumption was that you knew what a EULA was, seeing how we're
Uh,
all in. I mean, especially you.
you
Like to
shouldn't
Well,
assume.
he does know what it is, but like he didn't catch the acronym. That's all.
Plus, you can't assume our listeners know, you know.
well, you're like the most businessy out of all of us, so that's why I assumed.
I really don't know much about the details of gaming law. Okay, I
Like,
can't stress that enough.
Okay, but I think for me to finish this up, and I'll let Skeptic finish this up since this was his. It's complicated.
it is.
It's very complicated, and I wish people just had a little bit more morality when they're stuff that essentially is supposed to be a toy and for enjoyment, instead of just like, I need all the
Which
money.
I wish. Oh, okay. You meant the companies or just people in general?
The companies, really. I don't even think I want to blame the game developers, but like the people above them.
Well, it's not the devs' fault at all.
That would be my statement.
No, like at first I thought you were talking about the average consumer, and then I was about to rebuttal with, well, I wish game companies would keep shoving their crap down my throat.
I mean, some consumers are at fault too because they allow it. You know,
Of course.
they're like, I'm gonna buy it because I either have the money or I'm okay with this kind of thing.
But it's just one of those arguments where it's like,
You
who's
lose
that? It's like not quite as extreme, but like it's kind of like asking who's at fault for civil unrest.
right, right. Like I said, it's complicated. But let's move on to the next subject. Question, Panic. Do you have a subject?
Let's
Free
move on to
balling.
the subject. Wait,
Free
so
balling.
do you have a subject?
Yeah.
The subject is does design did it again.
Well, that's another fucking dollar in
Right.
the jar.
In the jar. I'm already tallying it, bro.
Oh, well, is there a douchebag jar now?
No, this. Oh god.
I mean,
the moniker jar. Yeah. Monica jar. There you go. I'm
is
calling
it a problem that I'm calling our program by its name? It's very apt.
I did that is true. 2.0 edition.
So
Yes,
Panic.
I have a subject.
There we go. All right. Do you want to go now or do you want to go last?
I'll go last.
Bastard.
Wait, what
You-
is your subject about?
So my subject is about another basically news on what's going on with WoW in 14.
Okay,
update?
so I'll go now then. So you know how we're low on stock for PS4 and graphics. I'm sorry, WoW, PS5 and graphics cards.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, GameStop is showing how graceful they are for the random people saving their asses. Decided to put early access to limited stock of their PS5 and graphics cards behind the Power Up Rewards Pro program, which is the Power Up Rewards program that you actually pay for. So those people who have the Power Up Rewards Pro have early access to buying the limited stock, pre-ordering the limited stock of the PS5. I say pre-ordering because they say buy, but then they say you are not guaranteed to get one because stock is limited, but you have early access to try and get one basically. You only get this perk if you are a Power Up Rewards Pro member.
Yeah, I heard
Now
about that.
there are
That's
many
awesome.
ways to look at that.
There are quite a few ways to look at that. The way GameStop puts it off as is that we are appreciative for the people who support us money-wise. So here you go. The other way to look at it is, so you're trying to get me to buy into your program so I have a chance at getting the PS5.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Forgot how much it is for a trip. Is it
20,
like
20 a year.
20?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Like, thankfully, it's not the most expensive thing. So, I can't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to rag on that. I'm not going to rag on that.
If you think about it, it's Nintendo quality of online capabilities.
No, it's not a matter of if it's a bad price or not.
The point is the pay to win.
Thank you. If it was $50, they still would have done that shit. If it was $100, they still would have done that shit.
Yeah, basically.
True.
And this is just for an opportunity to. So wait. So this okay. Wait. To make sure I understand it correctly. So this will just give you an option to pre-order a PlayStation 5.
I mean,
Reserve.
It's more like you're going into a raffle of an opportunity to somehow obtain a PlayStation 5 early. Because it's not. Because come on, it's not like 100% guaranteed that you're going to get that PlayStation 5 through that method.
Right. Obviously,
no, it's not. But you're pre-ordering it. So when you pre-order something, technically you're into a raffle based on.
Wait, hold on. You're actually wait.
Nigga, you're actually pre-ordering that shit.
What? Wait. Okay. Wait. Hold on a second.
Keep in mind when you pre-order something. Wait. Keep in mind when you pre-order something, you don't have to spend the full price of the product.
But I don't care if it's 50 fucking cents.
I'm just letting you know. So like if you pre-order something, just to remind everybody on how GameStop's pre-order works. When you pre-order something, the minimum down for that pre-order is $5. It needs to be paid off by the time the product releases. Um, either in portion or when you come to get it. But
So when I don't get my PS5,
when you don't get the PS5, you are on considered back order. So the pre-order still stands, but you don't have to pay for it until you get the product, or if you've already paid for it, they keep the money, but you will get the product as back order.
GameStop can suck my left testicle.
No,
Okay.
they've been doing this for forever. Like they
Yeah,
did
but
this-
that no,
Yeah,
no,
but
no.
you could really truly consider this a power move, dare I say.
The
Yeah,
audacity.
so, like, the pre-order thing has been around this whole time. The problem is that there's
No
not
reason.
many times where there's limited stock for the pre-order. So when they do pre-order stuff, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, about 80% of the time, it's way more than enough stock to cover the pre-orders and still have some to sell. That's usually what happens with the pre-orders, but never have they locked a pre-order behind a paywall.
Right.
pre-order. Jeez,
That's
pre-order for a chance.
man,
that's right.
man. We're,
This is the
we're,
first.
we're all on our news. This is True Gaming News Podcast Sunday. It's like we went from Ocean's gift cards to commercials in my single player video games
GameStop paywalling pre-order.
to paywall a pre-order. It is truly gaming news.
So, I mean, well, it's GameStop, right? And I'm pretty sure they have to do something.
Hey,
And
man,
I'm speaking in terms of a business.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That wasn't the right thing to do.
I mean, it's not the right thing to do, but when has businesses ever had a morality?
bro.
I mean, you would
But it's just-
think.
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, Zeke, like understand that this is the equivalent of like getting kidnapped and like using leverage that you don't have.
Right. Like you would think that GameStop of all companies right now would understand that they're in really, really, really boiling water right now. And they were saved by random people who just decided to play a joke. They were pulled just above the boiling water point. And then they want to do this.
This isn't good for
Shows how
PR.
great
Basically.
Well,
they
okay,
are.
let's be clear. That whole entire thing was just to get back at the Wall Street, and these are just
Yeah,
people who are fucking trolling.
Like, come
I
on,
said
man.
a joke. I
Yeah.
said a joke. They were saved by a joke.
Bro,
Right.
But like, this is not. It was completely out of their hands. Like, it doesn't get any more Soul Calibur. Fate has conspired. Okay.
I
This is
mean,
the epitome of that.
again, this comes back to like, businesses don't have morality. They'll do anything to save their skin. So it's like if they have to, they'll probably do it. And
But
GameStop.
understand.
Well, it's
But
GameStop.
understand that there are ways to that. This was not like now. Some people are gonna be like, oh yeah, do. But like the rest of us are going to be like, really, GameStop?
It's
Really?
unfortunate, man. It's because the idea here is that they're capitalizing on a lack of
A
Limited
lack,
supply.
a
Right.
lack of PS5.
Yep.
And a lot
And
of
so
people are
You
to
you
use
move
that
ahead. I don't quite follow.
PS5 to
Uh-oh.
make their thing.
You ate a mini
Or-
computer again. He has to stop eating these mini computers, man.
And
No,
having
we
them for less
We need to
time.
come up with a better term for that. I'm trying to think of one.
I think Daft Punkify was the best one. However you guys want to call
Daft
it.
Punk mode.
I would
Oh,
say
God.
he's gone DP, but that's not.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh,
It's not
God.
conducive to what we're trying to
Yeah.
be here.
Skip out on that one.
All of you have gutter minds, even the people in chat.
We need a nice term like catering to casuals,
I know CTC,
right?
bro.
Speaking of
That's when we've evolved from just simple podcasts to like basically these gaming social justice warriors. Like
And
we've slowly crept to the dark side here.
that's when I'll be like, all right, guys, peace.
all right, please support the podcast.
I feel like
Support the podcast.
I feel like it is worth mentioning though that yeah, this is bad. Also yeah, I think if there's anything I just have to say is to overall content as to how our podcast content has stemmed, or I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? Has shifted towards. It does make me realize that there is an ongoing war right now between publishers, developers, and consumers right now. It's
Yes.
kind of wild when you put it all in the perspective. Like there are the same song and dance publishers wanting devs to like pump out games at inhuman rates, like ridiculous work hours, just poor treatment, like bad relationship. It's getting worse. Devs are not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel anytime soon. But now they're trying to basically skip the dev cycle altogether and get straight to the cash flow.
Yes.
It's like they're trying to overshoot the devs and take directly take advantage of the consumer in a more direct fashion without necessarily developing full-on games to do it. It's getting weird. I think that what we should remember is that the game has become less of just it's a game situation, much like it's not fake money gift cards. Xbox gift cards are a real, valued thing that can be sold for real money. You know what I mean? Like it can be used in trade, and we should start realizing that games are more than just a product now. It's a medium, it's a platform, and that people should take more responsibility in how they're handling their game like time and their game spending. Not how they're playing the game, could care less, but how they're consuming the game, and that goes for their monetary and their time values. Like, because you can overspend in time. We already know what that looks like. That's been a thing that people have highlighted, spotlighted, green lighted, red lighted,
green lighted, yeah.
Moonlighted. But now it's getting to the point where there's a growing concern for how people are going to spend their money and how companies are going to incentivize people to spend their time. So with the ads in the games, like you should definitely be careful that you're not falling into that, because that's a trap in its own, whether it's a money trap or a time trap. It's not worth it to feed the machine in that way. It is what we're saying. But also for your own personal health and safety and your own personal well-being, you should probably not get into the habit. Because I think the main reason I brought my article up is that you don't really know until you're in that situation yourself, right? Like morally, we would believe that we can do it. But you and I had this discussion and you brought it up one time. If you had the opportunity to step on a rabbit for like $1 million, would you do it? Many people on the internet would say they wouldn't.
Did I bring that up? Wait.
No, it was me. It was you and I.
You sure? Because I think that he brought to me that video to me and my father one day in the house. He brought that to my attention the very first time then. And I was like, that's a good point, actually. It was a video that somebody else said, but like you brought that to my attention. And I'm like, a lot of people actually would step on the rabbit for $1 million. No problem.
Now,
without hesitation.
Is this like, are we talking like a jackrabbit or like one of those like tiny?
Bro, it doesn't matter. It's a little rabbit.
It was like a little cute baby rabbit, bro. Would you crush it? Would you do it on camera?
Do it on camera.
Like,
yeah, see how that everybody's perspective.
Yeah, everybody's watching. They're just watching you. There's a rabbit. It's not going anywhere. And then there's a guy with a briefcase full of $1 million saying, "Kill the rabbit."
Would you do it?
Kill the rabbit.
Kill the rabbit.
Kill the rabbit. Elmer Fudd would be
listen,
ecstatic.
bro. Do I have to step on like,
Bro? Kill the rabbit.
Real rabbit. Fully alive.
But do I have to step on
Topless.
it though? Like that's very.
It does
extreme.
not matter. You're killing the rabbit.
Well, can it just be like lethal injection or something?
No, you can just. I think the whole idea was like to crush it with your foot, but maybe I could be
Like,
wrong. Just
bro, like,
kill
that's-
the rabbit.
Like, would you? Oh, now I know. It was Kneecaps, the YouTuber Kneecaps. That was the video I'm
Mhm.
showing. And
But what did he specifically say?
he said, like, if someone came up to you and said, "I will give you $1 million to stomp this rabbit,"
Yeah, it was Stomp.
and
Oh my god!
and all you have to do is stomp this rabbit, and you get $1 million,
I don't
or
even think it said to kill it, just to stomp it.
just to stomp it. And Kneecap said, "Of course I'll fucking kill the rabbit or stomp the rabbit. Like, that's $1 million." And I was just like, I don't know, my morality would get in the way.
Most
see-
people's wouldn't. You see,
right.
Yeah, right.
And-
Because it's such an easy thing. Because it's to some people's perspective, that little rabbit is insignificant. You just stomp the rabbit to get something that's easy to get, right?
even more significant when you mention that like people have killed for less. The
Right.
thing is, like, when you think about how lucrative, mind you, unfortunately so, but just how big of an industry fraud is, every single day there's somebody out there stepping on that rabbit for money. Like, but they're stepping on people. The thing is, like, people act like they wouldn't do it, but like, seriously though, the moral compass of the average human being, in my opinion, when it comes to the overwhelming actual opportunity of gaining that much money for, like you said, be set for life, which is, I think, untrue, but I'll get to that in a second.
No,
I think
no,
that-
just save that because that'll probably get too long.
I mean, I'll address it, but I'll just say that, like, look, in the average, just look it up. Like, look it up, because if you have kids can be expensive. It's like when you actually consider investing into your children and college tuitions and things like that, and just if you live in an average house, the average price of a home, and just overall, like, you can live off of $1 million, but I imagine you probably need to be single, like actually trying to raise a family on $1 million for the rest of your life. No dice.
so you can is what you're
It's
saying.
possible, but it's unlikely. It's unrealistic, and it's not necessary.
I can't say it's unrealistic if it's not impossible
Oh.
and very probable.
Wait. Are we
And-
just talking about just like the raw $1 million?
Like, you can,
That's it.
yeah, like $1 million. That's all you have for the rest of your life.
Oh no, you're gonna use that up within like a 10-year span, if not sooner.
That's like
So
$100.
that's
$100,000.
Yeah, that's $100,000 a year. What are you spending that money on?
Are you, bro?
I'm asking.
If you're
Like, are
a
you serious right
single
now? Like,
individual,
people get more from the lottery and use it up in less time.
I mean, there's all different kind of scenarios and situations, right? Like, people can be stupid with their money.
Like, if you're not allowing me to do anything else with that money other than live my life, then it's
I'm just
probably
so I'm really just saying, like, I mean, if you think about it, if you're spending $100,000 a year, what are you spending that money on?
well, it depends.
And-
Bro, I
I
can-
brought
I
in
can
one
buy-
scenario.
I can
Like-
go buy a house and spend half that.
Like, that's 100,000. Like, you can literally live off of. I think you can live a good amount of time off of $100,000.
Yeah.
Not saying 10 years or something like that. If you're living in America, especially, but like,
You definitely want to live in a different part of the country,
Like,
or
yeah,
a
if-
different part of the world.
Yeah.
it's like
Not
it's
even
all in
the-
a matter
this
of how
country.
it's all in a matter of how smart you are with your money. But also, last story, we're talking about a real bunny, not a plushie. Like, if it's a plushie bunny, then it'd be the easiest thing in the world. You're
no
just
one will
like
give you $1 million.
the-
like-
for that.
Something. See, and like that's where it's like it becomes hard for me. Like, if there was like a less direct method of doing it, then I would do that. But it's
He
like
said,
stepping on it's like
loopholes, my boys.
it's like if you allow me to do lethal injection to the bunny, it's like, oh, okay, then I would be able to sleep at night. like stomping. See now it's like okay. See now I have to deal with the trauma of doing that as well.
Bro, I'd be ruthless. Don't even get me started. Don't care how much space I lose.
And and that's the sad part is that like I am of the same. I would hesitate if I have to like physically assault the damn rabbit, but like I might still do it.
If it was a baby, especially if it was a baby. I'm squeamish. I'd be grossed out. I'd be like, "Ah,"
Right.
but
Yeah,
I'd get over it pretty quick. You said it yourself, right? Well, not really, but you said this statement that I would use in that situation.
Oh my goodness, please.
We can pay for the therapy.
Pay for the therapy later.
Like, bro, if your life depended on it, you do it. See, that's the difference.
Oh,
right?
okay. Well,
Okay,
absolutely,
so-
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I
Absolutely.
was never
The
specific.
morality wouldn't be there.
Yeah, I think if I will concede, like in today's world, you can't live off just $1 million. I just did I did research, but they say
I
that
didn't know you're gonna do it right that fast, right?
but you need like another like 500. They calculate you need another like 500,000, like
Yeah.
800,000. So not even
1.5 to
not-
2 million.
yeah,
maybe.
for like the rest of your life, just like 100, like 1.5 million. They're saying that you can live your whole life with. But if you didn't have like the whole stipulation of just having that money for the rest of your life, you could just invest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and
and that's what I'm
gain that
saying.
money.
Like, investing.
You need to invest that money, but
So-
you have to grow it. You could live, but if you just use that money, no dice.
So
the way you were
to,
making it sound, it was just like you could just use that money in this budget. I'm like,
yeah, like so to be specific, and I think I was actually specific because I said just $1 million for the rest of your life. You probably could, but it's
No
more.
investing.
But yeah, no investment. Like I said, just the rest of your life. You probably could, and
You'd have to budget.
it is possible you'd have to budget it. Yeah, and you would actually live pretty okay. But
yeah.
to like live like even more well off, you need like an extra 500,000.
Right.
Well-
and that's assuming you don't have kids that are inherit. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Well, quick question. How do you numerically spread 1 mil over 50 years?
oh, that's
I mean-
that's some quick maths.
Yeah, quick math. I'm asking.
that is kind of quick math.
Think
yeah,
about it.
I'm asking
I mean,
one of you.
if you live
10 years is
frugal,
100,000, you said 50, right?
like
That's
Yes.
$20K a year.
my question was like, what are you spending 1,000 on in a mass of like 12 months? That's
Wait,
what
you
I would
said-
ask. Because like
100K in a mass of 12. See,
you-
that's the problem. People overspend. They
Right.
buy things they don't need. They live beyond their means.
well, that's what I was asking. I was asking Skeptic that. Like, I know
Oh,
you could
oh,
have the
right.
answer, Anima, but like Skeptic, what are you spending $100,000 in a mass of a year?
Well, we're just talking because that's over the course of 10. But what am I spending it on?
Right.
Let's see. And it can't be investments.
Like, if you're going to spend it on investments, I mean, that's without the rule of like only having $1 million. Like, I would understand if that's what you're spending it on. I would definitely
'Cause-
understand because that's how you
'cause-
get more money.
Because think I can go a few blocks down and buy a $445,000 house
But
with cash.
but but like,
Why?
would you? And I mean, of course you would. That's a house, right? You have now a roof over your head for possibly the rest of your life.
Bruh.
And what else are you doing with that money? Like that's
You know
still-
what you know what I'm doing with that money? I'm going right back to Tiffany's, right? On New York, in New York, Queens. Because that wedding band, the wedding band, not even the actual the wedding band for the engagement ring, not even the wedding ring. So there's more to the engagement ring, and then there's the actual wedding ring. That thing was $13,000, bro. I think it was either 13 or 23. I'm starting to lose the story in my head. I might have to go get it repriced. I'm sure inflation's happened since then. So that's where I'm gonna spend it all right there.
Oh
Bam.
my god. I always thought that like when it comes to a wedding, it could be like anything for a ceremony, right? Like a ring
Yeah,
doesn't
actually,
a ring doesn't have to be involved.
you know something funny? You're focused on the wrong expense of the wedding, buddy. Go look up how much weddings cost.
I know how much weddings cost. I spent money on a
on
wedding this year.
average. Boy, do I tell you
Sir,
that a wedding
listen.
alone will put a dent in that $1 million.
Bro,
No,
I understand
that's-
that.
well,
I understand
y'all
that,
only-
bro.
Y'all ever
Just
been
for
to a
divorce
wedding,
to happen anyway.
a wedding that had live musicians?
Mm.
You can
No,
only imagine the expense.
actually, you know what? I lied. I've been
But
to a
okay,
couple.
what was the original question here? Now I'm lost.
Can you live off of a meal
No,
and
before
without? Oh,
that, because this
um,
was Panic's topic.
oh yeah,
This was
GameStop's
the
trash.
GameStop situation. I kind of veered it off when I said, looking at the overall situation of like our podcast topics, we've kind of been raw fight the power.
Well, I'm
Yeah, for
in
real.
this case,
I'm all for it.
can we all agree that
GameStop is
GameStop
trash.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, they're scummy, but they're still a business. They're just trying to make money. They're still scummy.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. Don't sugarcoat it. They're trash. They've been trash for a while now.
I was gonna say I don't agree with that. I get that
What,
that
me or
they're
him?
struggling. Him,
Okay.
Marvin.
number
Yes,
two.
yes, I messed
There
up.
you
I don't care.
go.
Get doxxed.
I I don't agree with that because I understand they're struggling. I understand that they're in a much of a downside. It's not even a bit of a downside, then a hell of a downside, but that should be reason enough for you to kind of look at what you're doing. And sometimes the money beats out publicity in terms of like what you gain from it monetary wise is it doesn't really it can't compare to what you lose in terms of uh what you lose in the public eye, but this is not one of
Right.
those cases.
I think consumer trust will last longer than money ever will. We just kind of just went through that. Like money comes and goes, and it can very easily. You can waste a lot of money on a project or on a campaign. So, like, if they're gonna sacrifice the golden goose, which is the consumer eye, the trust, the like loyal fan base for the money, for the
For a few
eggs,
eggs.
it never works out. You know, we
That
we
no.
we find these truths to be self-evident. Okay.
These
Okay.
You can have a bunch of
Well,
CEOs in the seat, but it doesn't mean that they're smart. So
I mean, it's not that they're
or
not smart. It's
I'm
just
about to
that
say I wouldn't say that. Like I get the
let me
feeling
let
a lot
me
of these
let me
CEOs know
let me
better than
rephrase that. They're not smart when it comes to I would say whatever what's the word that they foster. So for example, Activision Blizzard. They're not
no.
wise. There you go. That's a better word. They're not wise.
Yeah, yeah, better word, better
Okay.
word.
Unwise. I can live with unwise. The whole idea here is just that like you can't say for sure until you're in that position, right? You know, like how do I want to say it? I haven't been saying it very often, but I want to say it in the shortest possible terms. Um I'll get back to me on this one. There's a very, very specific way to say it so that it's not lost
In the sauce.
in meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But reality is a matter of situations. People are as they believe or what they see, not what they are. Like people are made up of their perspective, not necessarily of what actually is real. So there's a better way to say that, but the gist is
Sounds familiar.
you can't really assume that your lens would be aligned with how you see it now until you're actually in the situation looking at it with your own eyes.
And that's fair.
Right. Until you walk, 2 moons in someone else's
Right.
moccasins,
It's
it's
like
been said.
worked so hard to be a CEO. You say you would do good things. If you became CEO, situations may change that view. And you may
Yeah.
have
But
to do things that you really don't want to do.
but
I
you
mean,
know,
yeah.
I truly feel like that is like those are more fleeting than they aren't. Like I don't see any reason why you need to continuously like let go of your development team to cut costs when you bring in like a couple mil every year yourself, like a couple dozen mil.
Okay, I mean, I think there's definitely like a big, a big thing with
Now,
that because like
now that's
if
extreme. Not every CEO is Bobby Kotick type.
yeah, I was about to say Definitely Bobby Kotick needs to. He really isn't doing anything, and he's getting like $155 $50
Bro,
million bonus for doing nothing. But
like bonuses, my guy, bonuses. While his devs are just like, oh, so we can't increase your pay, or in fact, we're actually gonna have to dock your pay and let some of you go.
it's like we don't have enough money to pay for it, but yet this guy gets $150 million. So many layoffs. Oh, but we definitely need this guy to stay, so we're gonna give him millions of dollars. Somebody's outside.
Indeed,
Someone is definitely outside.
probably
Who?
I can't remember his name from RE2.
What?
But that's a topic that we could think about for a while.
I know, good subjects, guys. A little bit we need to do these short notice. That was true gaming news. I think this is the first time we had a podcast full of complete entirely of gaming news.
Well, I haven't.
But
pulled
like
it yet.
not just games coming out.
Like
Yeah.
Oh.
true gaming news.
No, it's good. It's okay. You don't have to.
We'll just get mine.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just fine.
Oh wait. Oh, you wait. I forgot we didn't hear. Wait, Saquon.
No, that's okay.
Well, no. What was yours?
It's all right, guys.
I totally.
We got through the best parts. It's fine.
Oh shit! You should definitely went first. What was yours?
Oh,
So
it's
something about
nothing.
World of Warcraft.
Oh, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing at all. All I was going to talk about is the World of Warcraft's biggest streamer started playing Final Fantasy 14.
You know
And-
what?
Oh,
And somehow, out of nowhere, Activision Blizzard put on a survey. Are you more willing to play Final Fantasy 14 than World of Warcraft in one of their surveys? And it's like, oh shit, they're scared.
Bro.
I
I'm over
mean,
it.
it's not that surely by now.
But why?
They have-
Listen, why did they specifically say Final Fantasy 14? They didn't
Because
say
14's popping,
yeah, but like why didn't they say other? There are other MMOs out there.
not
So-
like 14.
There are other like when as a company you don't want to have like don't want to show like a direct kind of like fear in order like they don't want to you don't want to show a certain kind of weakness when you put in a survey.
Weakness.
So they would usually say, would you play other MMOs? But they specifically name called 14.
Yeah,
The diss them in their rap track, bro.
I can tell you right now, if I'm dropping 15 to play 14, I'm not gonna play 13. So
like with that being said, Active Blizzard, if you don't know, which I'm to assume that you guys don't, have been not in the greatest line of light.
I mean,
as
they
as like a
haven't been-
company.
I mean, they really haven't been for a while. But last time I looked in on them, they were doing the whole thing with China, which I'm guessing.
Well,
is done.
I don't think that's all the reason. I mean, that's probably part of
Yeah, no,
but-
it's part of the reason.
right. They have lost pretty much. They lost their last line of the old school Blizzard. Like everybody who founded Blizzard, who was part of Blizzard, or they're gone. They're starting their own companies, and some of them actually joined up with the other co-founder of Blizzard, who created Dreamhaven, and is creating subsidiary companies. So-
What's the opposite of a Blizzard? He should have called it that.
What's the opposite of a Blizzard?
Yes.
Big Flurry.
A big flurry. I was just gonna call it a dry heat wave, but
Heat wave. There you go. He should have called it heat. Oh my goodness. See, I can't be a CEO, bro. Like I would. Oof,
That's what I'm saying.
I would be like Harada levels of, but like just not like low key about it.
You want to know something? The guy who made Dreamhaven, the dude who co-founded Blizzard, He called it Dreamhaven for a reason. Because
Because
it's a haven for
it's a
everyone's
haven for
dream.
your dreams. Yeah,
Right.
duh.
And all the devs that are leaving and being sniped by Dreamhaven, they're guess what they're promising? They're saying like, we are going to allow you to create the game you want. That's
But
Makes sense.
that I mean,
but Nintendo already gave us that.
are you
They
sure?
did.
Are you sure?
Nintendo
Yeah.
Labo.
Not Labo.
Oh, the garage thing?
Yeah.
I haven't played that.
It's already out.
I haven't played it.
Let's make the
It's-
perfect game together,
What?
guys.
It seems like something I would be interested in much later.
Wait, help me out. Drawing a blank.
So they literally made a game where you can make a game.
It's Game Builder Garage.
And no, it's not Little
On the
Big
Switch.
Planet.
I was
Little Big Planet wasn't
Man,
bad though.
y'all are cutting off my chaos, bro. That shit right. I was definitely about to say that.
It's like literal pseudo game development.
Yeah. The last game that I played that was like that involved with just the game development process, but not really, was like Graffiti Kingdom. And I know I keep mentioning that game, and I know it's super obscure. It also goes by Dokapon Kingdom from Japan. But it literally made it so that you can make your own 3D models that were playable, and it lets you
Wait a
map
minute.
specific commands.
Hold on. Dokapon Kingdom? Are you sure that's what it
Yeah.
was called?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
I
it's either
remember
that or Graffiti Kingdom.
Well,
'Cause-
what happened to the 3DS game where
because
where
I don't
like, you
remember
draw shit?
Dokapon Kingdom being something of creativity, but a large board RPG kind of Mario ripoff where people are trying to kill each other, and it's
Yes,
just a
man.
game that literally hates yourself.
Mario ripoff? Are we
Mario
gonna dive
Party.
into that?
Mario Party.
We're just gonna ignore that?
Maybe that's what it is, but I could just be saying the name wrong, bro. Graffiti Kingdom is definitely the first thing you should be looking for.
So
Graffiti Kingdom. I don't know what it is in Japanese. It could be the same word, but I don't know. Graffiti Kingdom. Like Google it, you know. That's what I'm about to do to figure out what the Japanese name was, because I could definitely be wrong about how I'm saying it.
Kingdom. It was
Too soon.
it's not shown. But
Official
I mean,
website in Japanese.
I understand it's called Graffiti Kingdom, but Dokapon Kingdom is a definitely different thing.
Oh, well, I'm bad.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what it was called in Japanese. You just literally say Japanese name. Anyway, the point is like that game lets you make 3D models. And depending on how it came out, your character's like attributes, it would give you different attacks that you could use. So like if you had like a pointy limb, you could have like a jab kind of a move, or if you were just kind of big, you had like a tackle kind of a move, you know what I mean? Or if the character was like smaller and had like multiple limbs, like 4 limbs, it would move really, really fast. But if it was kind of big and had 2 limbs, it's kind of anthropomorphic or whatever you want to call it, it would be slower. It was really cool.
Cool. I remember seeing that.
It's just a really weird game.
But
Known
yeah,
in Japan as Ragukai Okuku. Okay, well, whatever.
that's that's definitely different.
I don't know what that translates to in English, bro. I think it might be referring to its precursor game, A Quest for Color.
It's Graffiti Kingdom on the when you look at the game case. Thank you. On the game case, it says Graffiti Kingdom, but when you look at the game, it gives that.
Rakugaki.
What does that translate to, sir?
It probably translates to Graffiti Kingdom because the game case says Graffiti Kingdom.
Well, it doesn't because it says 2, which is referring to the fact that it is in fact a sequel.
I'm looking at the regular game case for the first Graffiti Kingdom right now. and that's the name that popped up.
Graffiti Kingdom. I mean, but the actual sequel, Magic Pingle: The Quest for Color.
Yes.
It
Yes.
could be referring to that. It could be the Quest for Color 2 or Magic Pingle 2. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't, because I
Oh.
literally typed in Graffiti Kingdom, and the case for the first Graffiti Kingdom came up with that name under it.
I mean,
Not on the case. Graffiti Kingdom is on the case, the picture for the case. The
mhm.
name I put in Twitch chat is what's under it as the name of the
Alright.
game. Oh dear God.
Rakugaki Otoku.
One
Okay.
second. One second.
It's probably going to show the picture.
Graffiti Kingdom.
But
But
You're
yeah,
gonna
but
I
like
got
to
that.
to get back on track, so this is kind of the second exodus for WoW specifically.
look at the
And
messenger group chat.
look at it. So this is just this is kind of like a I guess you could say a worrying thing for Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. I guess that's what it's called now. A lot of people this is the third. What are you talking about? This is the third? The third Exodus? When was the second Exodus?
What?
So I remember the first Exodus being Heaven's Word. And then Shadowbringers came out. I don't know. Shadowbringers was the second Exodus. I thought that all culminated like over time.
No. What exactly are you saying?
So when Heaven's Word came out, there was an exodus of WoW players that moved over to 14. When Shadowbringers came out, I'm guessing is what Last Order is saying, that was the second exodus. And for what's happening now in this current time, I guess this would be considered the third exodus. So every time WoW players are or anybody from any MMO is moving over to another MMO, we would consider that an exodus. For 14, this would be their third exodus.
Where people are going to 14.
Right.
Okay.
So like if I don't know a jump in numbers and people started playing Elder Scrolls, that would be an exodus for them.
Okay.
Mainly
So
with Shadowbringers and BFA. Wait, no. Wait, BFA sucked and people went to Shadowbringers. Okay. Well, if this is their third exodus, which yes it is, it's definitely having a huge impact. Seeing how Twitch's #1 WoW streamer is playing 14, he'll still play WoW, right? That's his thing, but he now is playing, also trying out 14, and everybody is watching him. Want to know what his opinion is on that game. And so far, he says he's liking it.
Of course.
And if that becomes like a thing, if it starts spreading and more WoW players, like I don't know if that's realistic though, like WoW players just transferring over because of like one guy, but when he streamed himself playing 14, he had over 200,000 people watching him. Now, I don't know if that's if you don't consider that a large number. That is one of the largest numbers on Twitch. Just saying that right now. Over 200,000. That's a really large number for Twitch.
Yes, it is.
And not only that, but being watched by two communities and now being supported by two communities, and him being like one of the face pieces for World of Warcraft on Twitch, you have to wonder like what's going on with World of Warcraft, what's going on with Blizzard. Like I can give you answers. Like for one, their latest patch took like 6 to 7 months to come out, and people were waiting a long ass time for their first patch. And because of that, I guess people started losing faith. Shadowlands which I don't know what people feel about that, but they're saying that even Shadowlands is not keeping them into World of Warcraft, and people are playing other games. I'm guessing it's because there's nothing to do in Shadowlands. There's this thing called Torghast, and Torghast in World of Warcraft, figure you're going, like, if you're playing an RPG, there is a multi-layer dungeon, right, with many levels, right? Torghast, I think, has 108 levels. And the point of going through Torghast is to basically get equipment. And I guess to gain, like, power and stuff. Now, what if I told you that, like, I think Torghast is a lot more than this, but what if I told you that Torghast, you'd have to run through multiple levels of Torghast over and over and over every day just to make a tiny dent on how much you actually gain through one character. And WoW really pushes you to have more than one character. Like, you would have to spend hours just to make a dent. Would you do it?
Is that a serious question?
I mean, if I said that Opera Omnia had something like this, that they had multiple floors in, like, a dungeon, right? They had multiple floors of a dungeon, and it's all, like, monotonous, pseudo, like, annoying, like, you have to pay attention kind of bosses and stuff, and it only made a dent in the types of resources you can get. Like, say you need 1,000,
For
I don't
grind.
know, like 1,000 pieces of, like, a red crystal or something, but every time you complete 10 floors, you're only getting 10.
You funny?
Like, each floor, you're only getting, like, 1.
Why would I play that?
Exactly. Like,
Is WoW doing that?
so, yeah, that's basically what WoW is doing, but not to, like, that degree. It's better than that. And I heard they fixed it up. But, like, 14 has something like that called Palace of the Deep, or Palace of the Dead and Heavens on High. And what it does is that it helps level you. It also gets you equipment for that level, like around 50, around 60. And you can pull those weapons out once you reach a certain level, and they're actually active equipment that you can use outside those dungeons. And the power-ups are not that bad. Like, you can get mounts in them and stuff. I don't think you can get mounts in Torghast. There's a lot of Torghast that I don't know, but I've heard that it turns a lot of people off. And people were just like, you know what? I'm gonna try out Final Fantasy, and then people get stuck in it because there's a lot of what they wish was in World of Warcraft that is in 14. Like, the thing is, Yoshida, the director of the game, played WoW, and he forced his development team to play WoW, just so they know how to not make WoW.
Are you? What?
He basically made his development team play the biggest competition, just so that they can improve on it. That's smart, honestly.
It is pretty smart, actually.
And that's how A Realm Reborn came to be. That's how he saved 14, and that's how he just kept on improving. He decided not to go with the whole, like, endgame being the main thing for 14, but the journey. Whereas World of Warcraft is about really getting to endgame. Like, the journey really doesn't matter.
I mean,
That's
you sure?
I'm going through World of Warcraft right now, and I can tell you through experience that it's really just pushing me through the game. Like, I tried to go out and do, like, other quests. There's no need to do it. They don't really want you. I could just go through the main scenario quests, and I will reach cap time. Because they just boost the experience that I get from just the main scenarios alone, so I don't have to pay attention to any of the side quests. I don't have to really explore the world. It's all about getting to endgame. I mean,
So
In an MMO sense, that makes sense because endgame is where you're going to spend most of your time. But the journey is also very key to
the journey, the journey is everything for in my opinion for an MMO.
well, some people, a lot of people, I'm not going to even say some, a lot of people think differently. Where I keep getting end game is where the true game begins. And I always feel kind of off when people say that because when I went through Guild Wars 2, the journey was amazing. When I
Right.
went through Aeon, the journey was fun. When I went through Rift,
I mean,
Rift was alright.
I guess I kind of see what they mean when they say that. I'm coming at it from a realistic perspective.
You can't really say realistic if the opinions differ
Okay,
across the board.
I'm coming from an out of game perspective.
I would say you have the opinion of the journey being the best part of it. Where there are others like raiders and stuff that say that
All right.
the combat
So
and the end
so when you
game.
get to no, don't hit me with that because when you get to the end of if if 14 was not doing another expansion, they're like, all right, we're done now. All that shit down the drain. So please explain to me how the journey is beginning post game outside of expansions.
I mean, this is where I'd have to have you sit down with like a World of Warcraft streamer or a player, right?
Yeah,
Because
there's
I'm not a
content to
good
do.
I'm not a good source for that because I believe the journey is one of the best parts and not
It
the end
is.
game. Whereas people who play games like World of Warcraft or Terra think that the end game is like the best part of an MMO.
It really it truly really depends, but I'm just talking about like pure data wise. It is not,
I mean,
unless they're going to expand the story, like without story expansion, like you're just doing missions and like I guess minor side stories. Now you can enjoy it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun doing that,
I
but
mean,
like to just blatantly say, oh, that's the best part of this gaming service that you pay every month for. Is it? Absolutely not. No, it's not.
so this is what I mean because in an MMO you're spending most of your time at endgame because getting through the main scenario will take a good
Couple hours.
couple hours. If you're going through at a pace that lends the story to you, like depending on the MMO, it may take 12, maybe even take 20, depending on how they roll it out. Because I've been going through the main scenario for World of Warcraft and it's been well over 10 hours.
As it should. You just started from scratch.
Right, but again, the main consensus for people who play World of Warcraft, also somebody is outside again.
What is going on? What you guys literally mean outside of your place?
No, I think
No,
you're-
like walking in and out.
No, I think your mic is picking up some extra.
Oh,
It's me
well,
fiddling
I
with my phone.
do have
You
a
can
wife
really
and
hear that?
kid.
No, he's talking about me. Like I'm just messing with my phone. I did not know y'all could hear that.
I don't think it's you. I don't know.
What are you hearing?
I'm hearing like somebody like outside or something.
I'm typing.
And then it's somebody. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is like for each and every, I think it's different for everybody else's experience when it comes to like an MMO.
Well,
Cuz like
I mean,
you and I could be like, yeah, it's about the journey. But other people would be like, man, I can't wait to get to that end game. And a lot of people in World of Warcraft literally just don't really care or pay much attention to the story at all. And
that sounds like a
proof of
sounds like
that
a them problem.
proof of that is plenty of times in like the comments and when people were talking to me about World of Warcraft, they're sitting there saying, "Bro, I didn't even know that," and I beat that quest like 11 times on all my alts. I'm like, you
All right.
didn't
So
know? So you didn't know that this entire town was like infested with vampires? It was like, no, bro, I was just killing shit.
if I sell you World of Warcraft post and I put you at post game, but I still make you pay like regular full price for it. Am I jipping you?
I don't know about patient value. So,
Because if the argument is now we're talking less opinion and more like data factual here. If the argument
because
here is
you're saying like what do you mean you're literally people because like I think what
no,
you're saying to me like
I'm
if
saying am I robbing you of any experience at all if I sell you full price World of Warcraft but like
Mhm.
you're starting post game.
you're starting in like the end already, like at the end of
Yes.
the end of the game.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Hey, wait, hold on. Elaborate on what you mean by post game, Skeptic.
Every
Do you
the
mean
entire the
do you
entirety
mean
of the main story and the expansions stories are done.
okay? And are you at end game level or are you at beginning game level?
No, in game level.
Okay.
That's part of the experience.
for me, yeah, you're ripping me off. That's again because I feel as though as I want to go the entirety of the story. There are plenty of people just buy a boost, just go to endgame, just as easily.
I wonder if they would buy WoW for me at full price if I just put them at endgame.
People have.
Really, like specifically the scenario I just presented.
Have said, "Hey man, I want you to play this game. It'd be Warcraft." Like, "Oh, cool! I can't wait to go through like main story." Is like, "No, man, just get the boost. You can explore the story later, or I just need you to be at endgame." And oh, okay, buy the boost. They're at level
Okay.
58. They're at endgame.
Now, 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 their desire to. Goodness gracious!
Well then, that was the first of
Right.
many.
that will be the first of many.
I mean,
father skeptic has to go be a husband father for a second.
um, if you guys didn't know, he's a new father.
Yes,
Parenting a child of 2 months.
they've been. I've told the podcast.
You know, anyone who's new, man, getting people up to speed, man. We're assuming we're growing an audience, man.
Also, Anima is also a dad
Yeah,
and has a wife, lovely
I
wife.
mentioned it about 5 minutes ago. Wife and kid of 5. You know,
He's
now
a very doting father.
very doting father, huh?
Father.
Um, so
But yeah, I don't know. I'll get his answer when he comes back from his responsibility.
yeah, I try to stay out of conversations I don't know anything about
Well,
because I already talk too much as it is.
like the only other person who can comment that on that is Panic, who has played World of Warcraft and 14.
Yeah, I haven't played both.
Like,
I'm sure Last Order could also, but he's in chat going ham, so I know it.
I mean, I don't know if he's played World of Warcraft, but I can honestly say that I'd feel gypped if all they did was put me in post game, because I actually do want to feel the story.
He said, "I have until the end of Burning Crusade." So
I'm surprised you haven't played Wrath of the Lich King. That's supposed to be like really good, and then they went into like Cataclysm, and then Mist of Pandaria, and then I think Legion. But yeah, that's kind of what being fostered in Blizzard. So hey.
I don't know. Why are we so focused on these bad companies? When we're gonna need to make next podcast about these good companies out here crushing it. You know what I'm saying?
Just got burnt out. Also, Guild Wars 2 stole me. True, Guild Wars 2 was good.
DCUO stole me, then Guild Wars 2 stole me. DCUO is going strong.
DC Universe Online. I actually
Yeah.
haven't really. I only played that once. Like I played that till like a certain point, and I stopped.
Yeah.
I, I've not really kept up on them, so I don't know if they're really like popping off or not. Like all.
Future King is playing Kirby Fighters 2 again, though. So it makes me wonder if that's popping off. You just don't expect certain games to really be popping, but like I don't really keep up with League of Legends, and apparently it keeps up with itself pretty well. It don't need my attention. It's like for me to think that just because I don't think about it that it's not a big deal. Just
Yeah.
goes to show how oblivious I am to
Oh,
how successful it's been.
Lester, did you play WildStar? WildStar was like was the MMO that I thought was just going to crush it, but then NCSoft had to be NCSoft. Oh my god, NCSoft, why'd you change? What happened? You missed it all. It was such a good. That was such a good MMO. It was so good. It was basically Space Cowboys World of Warcraft. It was so good.
Uh,
Um, I like how he said DCUO was okay. It feels like it was full of wasted potential. I'm just like that sounds like the entire cinematic universe in a nutshell.
Ow.
Yeah, I'm going there because we all want to see a good Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern movie. We want to see a good Flash movie. We like these characters. DC isn't completely down and out. Like they had the most iconic characters until Marvel completely pulled like one of the biggest Uno reverse cards in history. Like seriously, no one knew who Iron Man really was until Iron Man came out. Like they weren't that savvy. We knew the Hulk, we knew Wolverine and the X-Men, we knew the Fantastic Four.
I think no, Iron Man was pretty.
Iron Man had a show, but people weren't down with Iron Man like that. Like he wasn't as popular as a character.
I mean, maybe not
And so a
because
lot of people who are like, not, let's assume we're not comic book nerds here, okay, or children. Like most people, you ask them who Iron Man is, they don't know. It's like how I have a George Benson signature guitar, but if I ask somebody who George Benson is, they don't know, even though they may have heard the song. They don't know the person. Hell, half the people
this
don't know the names of the people in the bands that they like.
this may be like the environment or just like maybe because this is all I knew. But to
Yeah,
my experience, like Iron Man was always like a thing. People
no, it was not.
definitely.
My dad,
I
the
definitely
comic
think
book nerd, tried to convince me that Iron Man was a big deal. Okay,
then it has to be something like between both of us because I remember people knowing who Iron Man was.
I remember people knowing
Man,
who Goku
Like
was.
people didn't know
right.
who the Avengers were. They knew who the Hulk. They knew who Captain America was.
They
They
knew
knew
who
who.
Spider-Man was.
Of course, Spider-Man is like the most popular, so of course they knew who they were.
And
But
people
like,
know of Thor as a mythical, like Thor, Loki, Odin. Like that's a thing in Norse
like,
mythology.
what I'm saying is, in my experience, when I said Iron Man, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that red," they'd be
Yeah,
talking
but
about
were
him.
you talking to just people? Like you did just walk up to a girl in the street and be like, "So, how do you feel about Iron Man?" Back 20 years
Fix your
ago.
voice.
Well,
Fix your
well,
voice.
if you talk to her like that, she would definitely know you're Iron Man.
But
I
like, if you go up to a person,
I'm alive.
goddamn, if you
And
go,
I love
he
you,
turned into Iron Man or Jarvis.
and I swear it's true. And I owe it.
Yo, it is extreme right now. That's crazy.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna question Anima on that.
Wait,
When
what's the argument here?
basically he's saying like when people talk about like the superheroes, right? People know who Superman is, they know who Batman is. They
Yeah,
probably know who no, they know who Wonder Woman is. When you go on the
yeah,
Marvel side, people just
Justice
know
League.
who Spider-Man is. But I know, but I
Well,
because it's
because of
so
the
old, I
movies.
know people who knew who Captain America was, who knew the Hulk, and
Are we?
who
Bro,
knew
everybody knew the Hulk. I'm
Are
talking
we?
about
and
not
who
your
knew
people.
Iron
I
Man.
mean everybody. Like people
Wait,
didn't know who Iron.
are
People didn't
you
know who Iron Man
talking
was.
post MVC?
No, this
I'm
is
talking.
before MVC.
The MCU. I would argue that less. Sync. Well, no, actually, I think Wait, no. Who's the one that's saying that like they were lesser known?
Like, okay,
I'm
so
the one that's
Anima,
saying that they were lesser known before. Even
I agree with Anima saying
I don't
like
know.
nobody really
the
knew.
movies.
Now,
Now, don't get me wrong, the movies didn't put them on, but like it really put them in like the public. Like I can tell you right now, before the Iron Man movies, like people were not like hip to. I'll say a majority of the regular ass public could say, yeah, I've heard the name Iron Man. Oh yeah, it's that metal guy, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
like
they
there's a
couldn't- they
song
couldn't
about
go
that,
like,
right?
but
but a
that's
majority of people couldn't go like, oh yeah, Tony Stark, da 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 da, like they can right
Exactly.
now,
They would know anything about Pepper Potts or
right?
but
War
I mean,
Machine,
you could probably say the same for like
Rhodey.
Captain America. They wouldn't be like, so who's Captain America? Oh, well,
They
he's that Cap guy.
technically knew of
Uh,
him, but they
but
don't
they
know
would-
who
relatively.
he
they
is.
wouldn't
They
say,
don't know
like-
nothing about it.
Yeah,
really.
they wouldn't say like, oh, that's Steve Rogers. Like at the
Like
end,
the MCU really like made Marvel like re-blow up in modern.
yeah. In fact, yeah, people knew the X-Men before anything else.
That's
Now,
what I said.
They are an exception. Certain people are an exception. Spider-Man an exception. X-Men an exception. Wanna know why?
And the Fantastic Four.
Every 5
And the
years
Fantastic
they have,
Four.
they have an animated fucking series.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was an Iron Man animated series, but nobody
Trash.
nobody banged with it.
It was trash. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? And then you get into even more obscure characters like Doctor Strange, like a big deal in the Marvel universe. But again, to comic book nerds, bro, like we're a different breed. We know people who know people.
Well,
you know?
that's what I'm trying to say. It's like when someone says Spider-Man, like just ordinary people that I would talk with that had nothing to do with comic books, they
Yes.
would know of
They would know.
Iron Man, and not like who the fuck is Iron Man.
They are a minority. That is the argument being made here.
But they're
They're
like
a minority for sure.
Well, not
I don't
anymore,
know.
but they were.
I don't know.
They
They
were.
were. I'm sorry. We're
It's
we're
like
saying
anime
at the
today
time,
versus anime back when we were in like middle school. Like think about it.
like at
Like
the
yeah,
time,
people knew
they-
Dragon
they
Ball
were.
Z, but did they know about like and we knew Sailor Moon, but like I was talking about things like Ninja Scrolls or Astro Boy because my dad like was in it. He knew all these other anime and stuff, and I'm just like, it wasn't until Toonami, and then the slow but sure resurgence,
Right.
or not even the
Actually-
increased availability and accessibility of anime that people started to consume more and more in the States, and it got more popular. That anime become a normal thing, or you can just be like, oh yeah, My Hero Academia. Like, who doesn't know what that is? It
Yeah,
flipped
that's
the
right, right?
script.
So I will only say that I think back in the day people knew of these like now more prominent superheroes like Iron Man. They probably knew of him.
Like
I
the
think they're-
name, yeah,
Of the
yeah.
name.
yeah.
Yeah. If
Like,
you're talking
they knew
about
the
if you're
Superman
talking
was
about
Clint
more
Clark.
if you're talking about like the in the depths of like who Spider-Man is, oh that's fucking Peter Parker. That's my man.
no,
Everyone knew who Peter Parker
Yeah.
was. though.
Spider-Man,
That's the
bad
point.
example. Boy had like 5 shows pre MCU.
He had too many.
He,
honestly.
he had 4 or 5 shows pre like Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire.
Basically,
Mm.
at least 3.
Yeah, Spider-Man's the flagship character, so he's a cheat. So you can't use him.
Right. He's basically their Superman.
Like
But I'm saying like
who the
but-
hell didn't watch Spider-Man the animated series? Like
So
there's, like, a million
everyone
of
knew
them.
him, but like no, I would say that practically no one knew who Ghost Rider was off the spot, or knew
There was a
who-
movie way back then though.
there
That
was
is
a
fair.
movie, but there were 2. But
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, "What the fuck is a Ghost
Wasn't
Rider?"
that played by Nicolas Cage too?
Yes,
That's how you knew the casting wasn't there yet.
and people had no idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy
And-
was.
No.
of
Like,
course.
that was non-existent.
Rocket Raccoon. who
But
the
in
hell's
terms
that?
of like people knowing
Gamora?
that there was an Iron Man, that's what I'm talking about. Like people
they knew there was an Iron Man, but nobody knew what Iron Man was about. Like nobody understood what
I agree.
Iron Man was.
Right,
Like,
that's-
all they knew he was
that's
a
what I'm-
robot.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say. Like, people knew of
Oh,
it,
okay.
but like
So-
he wasn't like on that uber upper scale. Like
So
nobody
what
even
I'm
knew.
arguing
So nobody even knew who the Avengers
is
were.
that we all knew what Batman. We knew Batman was Bruce Wayne. We all knew Superman. We all knew Wonder Woman. We all knew all that. We knew about the Justice
arguably-
League, the Super Friends.
Right. Yeah.
The Super
because
Friends won the 50s, bro. So parents knew who they were. Like they won the middle 50. Like, bro, Super Friends.
X-Men just
Ye-
X-Men came out at the right time, 90s.
Yeah,
Like,
but Marvel didn't start to
again-
really hit their stride till like the 90s, maybe the 80s. in the public conscience. So I'm saying like now DC looks like a joke compared to Marvel. Whereas DC had the advantage for years, bro. Everybody knew the hell. There's been merch for Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman
honestly, like
for
Batman and Superman,
decades.
like Batman and Superman, like are DC at this point. Like they really keep them afloat.
I would argue also Wonder Woman.
So
Yeah, Wonder
Batman
Woman.
and Superman like really
Wonder
keep
Woman.
DC afloat.
Like,
Hey, Wonder Woman, bro. You can't
Bro,
downplay it.
stop it. Wonder Woman doesn't have like 80 movies and 80 TV shows like Superman and Batman.
she
Everybody
had,
recognizes
okay,
like
so
Wonder
she
Woman
did.
though,
She doesn't have that many TV shows. She had
and
TV
Aquaman.
shows.
Like no, I'm just in comparison to the
So,
two, like Superman and
before
Batman are like
before they
media
made Aquaman cool.
Yeah. Ugh.
types. Like
He was always cool.
oh yeah, in the Justice League.
He
In the
was.
Justice League. No, we stopped.
People,
Did you guys know
people
that?
were fucking joking on Aquaman the entire time for decades.
Bro, we've
Like,
been trashing that
bro.
man's name for decades.
Because man, like he didn't.
But
like,
the point is, we've been trashing
many-
that man's name for decades.
listen,
And
there's
then
a reason.
Aquaman came back in Avengers and said, "I'm the son of Neptune. I control water and all creatures
Bro.
near water."
Like
What
there's a
the
reason why Aquaman got a rework, okay, and no one else did.
Yeah, see, she had a TV series. See, Last Order knows, bro. Like, she was up there with Xena. She had her stuff.
Yeah.
What Wonder Woman, bro? Okay, I'm not saying that she's a nobody. Like she's not Jubilee, obviously. But like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Superman and Batman aren't tired from carrying the DC Universe media on their back.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong.
If not Joker, on top of that.
That's
like,
why they had
That falls under Batman.
that's why they had the Batman Superman show. They
Like,
had
bro, like what Batman is another one. Spider-Man, dude had like 6 shows.
come on, you gotta admit that you still probably think about their theme song, that
Whoa.
the Spider-Man, not the first Spider-Man cartoon, but the
Oh,
one in the
that-
90s,
Spider-Man?
the one in the
Spider-Man
90s,
I don't remember how it went.
They
Spider-Man,
the animated series.
Spider-Man.
Everyone saw that. What do you like? That's the OG.
That
Correction. It is not the OG, but it is the popular one.
What is it?
It's not- no.
WandaVision?
Oh, your voice again, dude.
No, it's not the OG. The OG is the one like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That's the OG.
That is the OG. And then it was like Spider-Man and Friends, where he was with Iceman and Firestar.
Firestar. Yes, Firestar. But no, the animated series with that heavy ass guitar intro. Everyone saw that.
Yeah, dear. They said, let's
and
take the
Spider-Man-
original theme and let's just put some rock in that.
And Spider-Man was OP as hell because it was like post-college Spider-Man.
It was a Spider-Man that was extra buff
Broken.
too.
He was broken. He was broken. I watched every single episode to the end. How could you not? It was always on.
Cool.
He also had live action Japanese TV show. I remember that, and had a Mecha Spider-Man.
No.
But I digress. Like more people know of them now thanks to MCU.
Yeah,
This is not up for debate.
Spider-Man had like so many animated TV shows. It makes no sense. But the one thing I remember about Spider-Man is that he was the show before Gargoyles.
Man,
Okay, never mind.
don't even go. I don't even have time to go into Gargoyles. So underrated.
I know.
God,
Anyway.
Overrated.
out the house. I don't be in the house.
We are done.
No, because
I'm
you
about to
we
say, yeah, we're nearing the end of the patience of the 4th of July
No.
day of our
what
respective
they're
girlfriends.
Yes, I agree.
They're not
And
doing
wives.
anything.
I'm gonna mute him for a second there.
We all have to mute them.
Are you? Did you just do that now? Don't you dare say yes. Bakiero,
Bakedo.
Koneoro. Like, come on. My man.
Oh, he's gonna mute
She had a whole 2-3 minutes of screen time.
At first, it was mumbling to me, and then it just started becoming something. So
All right. So 814 and friends.
We're
Mm.
going to be signing out after this. I think I can say for all of us that you're definitely here on YouTube and Twitch in terms of 814 podcasts. And you can find Anima on his own channel. Same name, TM. I keep messing up. It's the Aeon Anima.
There you go.
Sorry.
You better get it right. That tip jar goes right back into my legal fees you guys are gonna have to pay.
You can find Skeptic and Panic here. Skeptic is going to be opening up a YouTube channel sometime in the future. I hear no rebuttal, so it's actually true.
Exactly. No, you're right.
Make sure they're read by Eula.
But yeah, sign me out, log out, jacking off, jacking in, Mega Man,
What?
Team
What?
Warrior,
Bro.
all that stuff.
Bro, that's messed up, man.
Going DP.
That is messed up.
Okay, gotta go. Bye, B.
Bye. And with that being said,
So I'm not apologizing.
get out of our house.
Why are you keep telling that? Chill as long as you want. We might come back.
Come back
never
next week.
Today.
Get out of our house.
Because it's 4th of July. Have a good day. Have a good day.
Have a good 4th of July.
Enjoy your
everybody.
holiday.
Bye.
If you have off Monday, have fun.
Bye.